Alright guys, this is Skinless, the guild leader for the Alliance Guardians, and we're going to be looking at the Artist of War Mythic event, specifically looking at Tier 3. I'm dedicating this video out to a officer of mine, Darren, to assist all of those and him to look at the 3-star for Tier 3. So we're going to go ahead and open that up here. You're required to use Thrawn in the leader position, and then from there you can use any Empire tunes. I'm definitely going to use all of my strongest setup. Some people will swap out Tarkin with like a Shore. You could probably swap out Veers with Shore as well. The only thing to remember there though is the taunt that you get from Shore can put you in a bind as far as for getting that additional star, because he could be wiped out pretty quickly. Death Trooper is another great option to toss in there, as he's going to give the Dispel, and then the Death Mark is needed. But we're going to run a more traditional lineup. A lot more players are going to have this initial Empire team. I do have the double Zeta on Thrawn, specifically for Chimera. I've got him pretty fast. I mean, there are faster Thrawns out there, but I do have mine relatively quick. I had it initially set up for my previous arena team, as well as it's just good to have a decently fast Thrawn. For Palpatine, I do have the Relic on him. Not required. You could definitely do this with a Gear 12. He's going to have not as much speed, but more of the physical and the special offense. You could probably put some potency on him if you wanted to get the stuns out there, or to get the shock, which is nice. Then we have Vader, who I've gone full potency just to get all those debuffs out there that I can. The only Zeta I have on him is going to be his leader, which is no use here in this spot. He's actually extremely slow. He doesn't have to be fast. A faster Vader is better, but he's one of those tunes I just never went back and remodded, and it's probably about time. Veers, I've gone ahead and I've got some potency and some crit on him. Don't have the full set. This just has worked well for what I've been looking at. He's relatively fast, but you can get these guys faster. Not a lot of damage out there, but he serves his part as far as for his AoEs and some of his extra buffs that you can give there. With Tarkin, I do have the crit chance, crit damage, working with his potency and everything else. He's also very slow, so you don't need very fast characters to do this event. Again, you also can do this without the Thrawn Zeta, but it definitely does help. So we'll jump straight into this here and kind of look at the kill orders for what is required to make this happen. So we've got everybody's gonna be preloaded as far as for their turn meter. So you really have to survive that initial onslaught. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with our AoE. So we're gonna get some counters in there. Everyone's kind of got a bit of extra protection and whatnot on them. We're gonna go ahead and pass some protection over to Veers, and plus it adds additional turn meter, and then Thrawn's gonna get to go again. So we're gonna go ahead and use another AoE, and then we can go from here. We can either use his special and dispel all debuffs this character and gain the 50% turn meter, or we can look at a fracture, which a fracture in this scenario actually would not be a bad idea, so that we can get off of cannon. So we're going to start going and working on Hera, and with these additional debuffs and AoEs, we're also chipping away at some of the other characters. So we can look at there we go, take out Hera. And then since we've got Ezra down, he's going to be your next challenge. I would say always go for Hera first, so that you don't get the revive in there. Ezra is the main damage dealer for them, so he's usually my next bet. From there, I usually go to Sabine, as she's going to be the next damage dealer, as well as adding on that armor shred. So you don't want to have that out on the field if you can help it. I've already got two tunes that have the armor shred on them, so we want to keep her from getting any more out there. So as you can see, we're just kind of working our way around, and at this point we're forced to work with Chopper, so that's not a bad idea. Normally I would try to go for like Zeb if I can help it at this point. Also keeping in mind their uniques and how they share them around, because these characters are fully set. We could probably go ahead and bring Palpatine back to life at this point, since he was just over there stunned and not doing a whole lot. You don't want to move around too much, so if you start on a tune, finish them up, don't jump around. So right now Chopper is lower, so just to get him out of the way and ensure that he's not healing or doing anything further, I'm going to go ahead and just fracture him so I can just get him out of the way, and get some of those extra debuffs out there. So as you can see, we're actually doing really well for our set here. Palpatine really has not done a lot, so having that relic on there really was just more for survivability in this scenario. So you really don't have to have a lot of extra there on Palp. Like I said, you could definitely do this with a gear 12 tune, so we can pass some more turn meter around, probably get Palpatine another turn, and there we go, we've taken him down. We've got another fracture, so we're gonna go ahead and fracture Zeb, and that's pretty much the end of it there. So Zeb normally would go a little bit earlier, but at the same point, you don't have to get him first. It's just nice to get all of the attackers out of the way, anybody who's doing any damage out of the way, since you're not getting much from Cannon or from Chopper. So that's how you're going to 3-star this event here. There are many different lineups that you can use, but this one just seems to be number one, the most common that you're going to have at this time because of where everyone is in the game. These tunes are relatively easy to get and gear, as well as like I said, there was a few other options I threw in at the beginning, but this would be the best lineup in my opinion. So if you like the video, please like and subscribe. If you have any requests, always feel free to DM me on Discord. I've got all my information in here. And as always, I do hope you have a wonderful day. And thanks for watching, and Skinless out.